What is going on, everybody? I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to get in today's official starter version of Blunt Force Logic. Blunt Force Logic. Did I say that funny? Blunt Force. I think I did. Anyways, all right. It's Saturday. I want to see how well this comes in. Let's see. How pixelated do I look? Oh, I look terrible. Of course I do. All right. Well, we're going to make this quick. I want to get you some facts, some figures, some fun stuff. I want to talk about the All-Star game, which is really what I was going to do yesterday. And then all of a sudden, more of the shitstorm hit between more stuff about vaccines and, of course, the shooting at the Capitol yesterday and the drive-through, which is all of a sudden disappeared from MSNBC, CNN, etc. Shocker, wonder why. If you guys could go ahead and share this out there. This is my little daily rant that I do every couple days and give a little bit of information, what's going on in the world of politics. I do apologize for those seeing me a little bit pixelated right now, but hopefully you can hear me just fine. Ava, Lynn, Deborah, Natalie, I see you. Yay, you caught me live. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First off, I want to make sure that you guys can see some of the fun stuff that I just brought up. Literally yesterday, all I wanted to talk about was the All-Star game being canceled from Georgia because of their new voter laws, which are there to secure the election. Literally there to secure the election. They've actually broadened the ability for people to vote early, 3 weeks instead of 2 weeks. They're just not allowing water and food in line. Oh, you can't get water and food. It's because it's bribery. But hey, all right. We're going to start with the juice, aka the vaccine. I saw this, and it's like they have to beg people to tell them how amazing it is. So you've got this clip from that's just thrown out there on the Book of Face with Oprah saying she felt like Superwoman after getting the vaccine. Look at that. They're just showing how all of these celebrities love the vaccine, how amazing it made them feel. Amy Schumer cut a hole in her party dress. And then, of course, you've got Jolene, them talking also about Dolly Parton, talking about how it made her just so amazing and how it's the greatest thing in the world. When they have to beg you to get the vaccine, I feel like you need to realize that something is up. If anybody saw that CNN clip, by the way, so CNN showed this woman talking about the vaccine, talking about getting out of lockdowns. It was the most disgusting, sinister thing you've ever seen on the planet. And it was her essentially saying, and Cuomo like staring at the headlights, not knowing what to say, going, why we have to press the vaccine now before the lockdowns are over, because if the lockdowns are over, what is the carrot for people to get the vaccine if they realize that they can completely live the normal way without the vaccine? That's the point. Is that just absolutely terrifying you that the woman came on national television saying that they're using the lockdowns as a carrot for the vaccines? It's absolutely ridiculous. Babs, what did you say? I love that your name is Babs, by the way. Explaining that it says we need to give them little freedoms. And yeah, exactly. It's absolutely sick. It's disgusting. It's effed up. All right. If you guys also notice, this is also I'm putting this on my my speaking page, which I will go ahead and put that in the comment section if you want to find it. It is Be the Change Anthony, because once I start Blunt Force Logic as a show, which will be once every couple days or 2 times a week, which is where I will do these things where it'll be just me talking about news stories, ranting, etc. Probably not going to put that on Be the Change, even though I do find that very important. So I went and threw that in the comment box right there. So it is facebook.com/Be the Change Anthony, just because it's going to be a little bit more blunt. It's going to be a little bit more forceful. It's going to be a little bit more in your face on what is actually going on. What's going on, Jack? I see you. All right, so let's talk about the All-Star game. So I posted on my Facebook wall as well as had discussions with others. As everybody knows, yesterday before the Capitol thing happened, which we're going to get to the Capitol. Pretty excited about that too, because I've got a great clip from not Chuck Schumer, Adam McShifterson, that I knew would do it. I saw him on a clip, and I knew that he would tie the Capitol shooting yesterday from a man from the Nation of Islam. He would tie it back to make the whole interview about January 6th, and he did. I was not wrong. So I will play as much of that as I can before MSNBC probably decides they want to pull the clip. Anywho, so let's talk. If anybody doesn't know the law, If it was 242, whatever the new bill was, it makes voter ID necessary. People have complained about how that is suppressing the minority vote. People that are saying that are essentially assuming that black people or people of color or minorities can't get an ID on their own. Is it because they don't think they're smart enough? I don't know what it is. To me, that would be the racist side, because ultimately, if it's a money thing, an ID, picture ID in the state of Georgia is $32, which could be too expensive for people. But then I started doing some more research with the help of a few other people, and guess what? There is a free identification card that you can get for voting in the state of Georgia. It is free. All you have to do is prove that you are who you are. And if you can't prove you are who you are, I have a feeling that the least of your worries is going to be able to vote in the next election. If you can't find a birth certificate, have no idea where you're from, who you are, etc., probably at the top of your list of issues is not going to be voting. But let's just say right now, if you know that you need that, that means that you've got over a year and a half to find a way to prove who you are in order to vote. That was one of the biggest things in that bill. The other one was the food and water with 50 yards of polling center. That means away from 50 yards, you can still set up whatever effing tent you want to and give away whatever food and bribe however much you want. So 50 yards, the people that wait in the long lines, mind you, the issues with the Democrats on this one are not about the long lines, even though that's what it should be. That's a quick mention. It's food and water. Why? Because they want to pander to the lowest common denominator and find a way to essentially turn an idea of giving away stuff to long lines into a political issue. Pretty fucking ridiculous, if you ask me. So then, of course, they decide to cancel the All-Star game in Georgia, because it's in a state that now has voting laws that are actually in line with several other states. So then I went a little bit deeper because people challenged me to go deeper. So I went deeper, and they looked at the law and they said, this is actually the bigger issue, the fact that the governor, who is partisan, now has rights over local governing bodies and officials. And I said, well, here's the deal. It is a Republican state based on the governor. So that's the way that the state voted. Clearly, in the last election, there was issues. So if you want to tighten up election security and election faith in the election, I guess, you have to have somebody in charge. And the state has put the governor in charge, whether it's partisan or not. And I know that the local board are partisan, but we can see that they failed absolutely. I know I'm super pixelated. I understand that, guys. But understandably, you have to realize, I'm going to try one other thing. Let me try to change the camera real quick. Let me see if this helps at all. Show advanced. Try this. See if that helps. I'm going to give it a look-see. Probably even worse, but it's worth a thought. Anyways, with that said, shut that up. Okay. With that said, I do have the question for you, right? So if with the election being the way it is, a lot of people had issues with the fact that I even said that we needed more election integrity. If you feel that way, then I can't help you, because as we can see, if the country doesn't have faith in the election, and this is more than the people that just voted for Donald Trump, this is people that feel as though something else was awry. And the fact that it took more than one night to even have any general idea who our president was, I think that's enough to know that there's something wrong here. Yeah. So ultimately, they want to put the governor in charge of making final decisions, being able to pull votes, being able to show votes. They just want to make sure that if you've got an ID and you have an election slip with absentee ballots, that it can be checked. And then they looked at it in the past that a lot of the voting public in Georgia and other states that do this, that you have to make sure your signatures match. You have to do maybe like an extra 38 seconds of work and 39 seconds of research to know what your voting laws are in the state. In America, we have to learn things in order to be able to do things. And if your vote doesn't count and it's predominantly affecting minorities, then how about we better educate those groups that have in the past apparently not have their signatures matched. So anyways, that's it on that. And I'm going to go ahead, and I know people are saying that they're having trouble seeing me. It was worth a shot. I had a new internet set up at this house, so I want to give it a shot. But hey, sorry that my voice is not matching. How about now? Sometimes that helps. Okay. Let's see what we got. I want to show one clip. At least this should hopefully play a little bit better. Talking about, I love to, I don't know if anybody saw the clips of once they found out that the Capitol shooter was not, once they found out that the Capitol shooter was not a white nationalist or white supremacist. If you look at CNN, MSNBC, one other network, I can't remember which one it is. It's, what other one did I look at? Not Fox, because Fox had it pretty much spot on, but they legitimately, actually, I think I can find it. Maybe I won't. Anyways, they legitimately said that it's no longer the top story. There is somebody that got killed at the Capitol, rammed through a barricade, killed a Capitol police officer that had spent 18 years on the job. And you know what? I'm fine with it not being a story anymore 24 hours later, because I don't think he deserves that amount of time for the story. But he was radicalized in the Nation of Islam. He was a Farrakhan follower. And now within 24 hours, that story is gone. Can you please imagine a world where if this was a different shooter, somebody that is of a lighter descent, and it was deemed some Proud Boy or whatever you want to call it, if this would still be a story, top story, still being talked about all weekend? And I think we all know the answer to it. And if you don't believe that, you're absolutely lying to yourself. So I want to let me see if I can bring this clip up. I hope that it works. You guys are going to like this one. Shifty shift in the house. Oh, shift. I love even the way they title it. Capitol still, what is it? What was it at the top? It says Capitol still very much a target. Of course it is. And they're relating it to the 6. I'm going to play this. Of course, I didn't share the audio. Give me a second. Share audio. Sit tight. And I'm going to stop it every so often throughout, just because it's the only way to get around their little copyright. So
to take the fences and all the barriers down, the Capitol is still very much a target. We don't yet know what the motivations of this man were, but of course, when you see something like this, an attack like this happen, it's hard not to harken back to January 6th.
And it's hard to know that some people are still not taking this seriously, what happened on January 6th. I mean, you and I have heard over the last couple of months, particularly people on the other side of the House and the Senate making comments about how they weren't scared. This wasn't particularly serious. But what we saw today in a Washington Post article is another connection between the Oath Keepers and Roger Stone. And I just want to read a little.
It's looking like it is not visible, is it? Yeah, no, there it is. Now it's finally coming up. Oh, it only took 87 seconds. Hold on. Let's see where it is on the clip.
A little bit of this. Oath Keeper founder Stuart Rhodes, his deputy and 3 members who guarded Roger Stone exchanged nearly 20 phone calls over 3 hours on January 6th, coinciding with the first assault on police barricades protecting the U.S. Capitol and spanning the time the 3 members breached the building. Prosecutors charged on Thursday. Some charged Oath Keepers were seen as acting as bodyguards for Stone earlier in the day. Are you? I imagine the answer is no, but are you satisfied that everybody around Congress is taking this connection between the prior administration and these extremist groups seriously enough?
No.
Yeah, so he's still continuing to talk about January 6th. I'll let it go for a second longer.
And I think many are pushing back, suggesting that anyone who makes a connection between the president's calls to march on the Capitol or fight this rigged election, that anyone associated with that is somehow tarred with the brush of being a terrorist. That's the way they're trying to pejoritize that. If you disagree with them, you're calling them a terrorist.
Okay, clearly it's not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this whole video again later, very short, in the car when I actually have some kind of internet connection. Anyways, so you got the gist on this. For the people watching, I'm going to show this again later with a little bit clearer. I'm also going to talk about Pete Buttigieg being just such a gem when he got loaded his bike for a photo op, so it looked like that he was saving the universe. by saving the environment and riding a bicycle right after he got out of an SUV, just because, hey, we all know that the Democratic side just does things for photos instead of actually doing anything. I got it. It's echoing. I love you guys. I'm going to talk later. I'm going to do this exact same thing later. Sorry that I was testing the new internet and it didn't work. I don't know why it's not working.
It worked. I mean,
Yeah, it worked enough. I think I need the antennas. All right, take it easy, guys. I'll talk to you in a little bit.